Dear students, today we will discuss the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore. Where the Mind is Without Fear is one of his vastly read and discussed poems. It was originally composed in Bengali, possibly in 1900, under the title Prathana, meaning prayer. It appeared in the volume called Nebiya in 1901. Later in 1911, Tagore himself translated the Bengali poem into English, and that translation appeared as poem number 35 in his Nobel winning anthology Gitanjali, which means songs offerings, published by the Indian Society London in 1912. So when the poem was written, India was under the British rule and people were eagerly waiting to get their freedom from the British rule. The poem is written in the form of prayer to the God, the Almighty, for a true freedom for his country and his countrymen. And thus Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom throughout the poem, where the mind is without fear. In the first line, the poet prays to the Almighty that his countrymen should be free from any fear of oppression or forced compulsion. He wishes that everyone in his country has his own head held high in dignity. In other words, according to him, in a truly free country, every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self dignity. In the second line of this poem, the poet dreams of a nation where knowledge would be free, education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. Not only that, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced to memorize some predetermined lessons, and this is Tagore's typical concept of education. Education and health, these are two primary things which makes a nation strong and powerful. So Tagore's concept of education is that education should be free and should be provided to each and every citizen so that the country may become strong. In the next two lines, the poet emphasizes the unity of not only of his countrymen but also of the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among people based on their caste, creed, color, religion, or other baseless superstitions. In other words, prejudices and superstitions should not divide the people in groups and break their unity. The country should remain united, integrated. There should be unity, brotherhood among the people, and the narrow walls, domestic walls, should not be allowed to divide the country into fragments. In line 5 of this poem, Tagore wants a nation where people are truthful, they should not be superficial, and words should come out from the depth of their hearts. They should be truthful and they should not speak lie. And there should be a belief that truth is God and God is truth. And whatever is truth is itself God. And so they should fear of speaking lie, and they always should make it their principle to speak the truth throughout their life. In the sixth line of the poem, the poet wants everyone to work hard to reach their goal and in the long run to reach perfection. He thinks that they should not be tired by working people should not be lazy and ignoring their work. In line number 7, the poet compares reason or logical thinking to a clear stream, and in the next line compares bad habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary desert. He wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudices. In short, people's thought should be monitored by rational thinking, not by superstition. Logic should rule over old baseless beliefs. Again, the poet wishes his countrymen to be progressive and broad minded. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever widening thought and action by the Almighty. In short, we should be open minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming the narrowness of mind. In the final lines of the poem, the poet addresses the god as Father. He asks him to awaken his country into such a heaven of freedom where the above conditions meet. To make it clear, the poet prays to the Almighty, the Father, to raise or lift or awake his country and countrymen to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. In turn, he is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they come out from the darkness of ignorance, prejudices, disunity, and all other evils. Here, a great addition from our reader, Ravi Murthy, suggests that Rabindranath wants to awaken the God within us to free our mind from shackles and bondage. It is not invoking God, but using it as metaphor for the higher self within us. This interpretation is beautiful, and I can't resist the urge to add it here. Finally, in the poem, the poet's message is very clear. If all the people of a nation are not wise enough to lead happy and peaceful life free from all evils, they can't enjoy their freedom well. So, to the poet, only political freedom is not so important unless you are fearless, self dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, and broad minded enough to enjoy it fully. Thank you.